With the growth of big data research, certain rules and responsibilities need to be made. These are the 10 simple rules responsible for big data research. Most data represents or impacts individuals. Assume all data is about people until proven otherwise. You can use a video to determine one's heart rate, a photo as if records can reveal every step a photographer took that day. Seemingly harmless data sets can cause mass discrimination, having population-wide effects on individuals or stigmatizing groups. For example, Amazon Prime is less likely to provide same-day delivery to African Americans in United States cities just because of data based on zip codes. One of the main threats of big data is privacy breaches. Just because data was shared to the public in one scenario does not mean it won't be harmful if shared again. Privacy is consensual and situational. Privacy applies to groups just as much as individuals. There are communities who are constantly discriminated against by data-driven policy. Reusing seamlessly public data sets can harm these groups despite originally intending to help them. You can't assume that data cannot be re-identified. Researchers with good intentions will often fail to anonymize data. These supposedly anonymous data sets can unexpectedly lead to re-identification. Identifiers exist everywhere online, from birth dates and zip codes to call records and satellite images. There are many ways for people to be re-identified. Sharing data is an expectation in certain projects. It's more compelling to share data when it's for a larger public good. Ask for broad consent instead of narrow, structured consent. You should consider the best interest for a participant, especially if it makes someone easily identifiable. The law around use and sharing data are not well governed in big data. There are almost no restrictions on what they can do with the data after it's collected. It's up to the researcher to make an ethical choice on how they share the data. For accurate and responsible big data research, it is important to ground data sets within their context, including conflicts of interest. Context influences every single stage of research, all the way to the dismantle of the results. For data acquisition, it is important to understand the source of data and all the rules surrounding its collection. Knowing the context is essential to understanding when your data analysis is working or not. Since data sets are not always straightforward, it is important for researchers to articulate what the data represents and what this data does not represent. You must be aware of potential interpretation and clarify to avoid misinterpretations. IRBS governs research involving human participants at federally funded institutions. Their goal is to create procedures to protect the participants. An effective way to protect participants is through peer debating ethical issues. These discussions help regularize these formal ethics rules and regulations. It is important to understand different perspectives on responsible versus irresponsible research. The high visibility of these ethical cases show the public view to sign in. Becoming an active member in these conversations will help you understand how to keep your research ethical. Developing codes of conduct within organizations, research committees, and formal education is a great way to embed ethical guidance into daily practices. This way, ethical guidance can follow internally without reaching the point of causing any large debate by addressing the problem before they occur. Changes will always occur with regulations being reviewed, so developing rules for big data research will allow you to follow these processes. It is important to redesign data and systems for internal audit and processes. They can help determine factors which can contribute to problematic outcomes. Clearly documenting when decisions are made provides researchers with the ability to backtrack to an earlier dataset and address any issues. This audit-based design also allows for an easy way to double-check your own work and improve understandability and replicability. These systems of auditability also clearly show the difference between datasets, allowing for better research. Big data researchers should consider more than just success in the business or economy. The high energy demand surrounding digital life means climate change should also be a concern. You need to consider ways to lessen the environmental impacts of data analytics. Is a research project focused on enhancing the public good, or is it for something else entirely? How might research help or harm different businesses and political actors? The final rule is about going against every other rule, knowing when to break them. In times of emergency or disaster, is it okay to put aside one's privacy for the greater good? Privacy is not binary, so responsible research should reflect that. With these 10 simple rules, you can now responsibly and ethically take part of big data research.